River State Television, reaching you at the
It's 2 o'clock and time for the news in brief. Good afternoon. I am Upilijit Yara. Rstv State Governor Siminyale Fubara says there is no price too big to pay to ensure food in the state. He made a statement at the third convocation and 6th Founders Day ceremonies of the Eco-Science Town, Obiakwa local government area of the state. Love of peace and his administration will continue of the state, assuring that he is prepared and will continue to pay the necessary price that will guarantee peace in the state. He also emphasized the commitment of his administration to creating a universal access for all residents in the state to quality education and affordable health care services. He explained that while some progress has been made, more needs to be done in achieving the collective aspirations of guaranteed education and health care for all in order to sustain an enduring progress in the society. Governor Fubara, who commended Dr. Peter Odili for establishing Palmo University and achieved enormous transformation within 6 years, also announced an increase in the number of students to benefit from the state government scholarship from 100 to 150 students with immediate effect. The federal government has assured retired and retiring military officers of prompt payment of their pension and other entitlements. It said retired military officers have sacrificed so much for the stability of the country, hence their pensions and other entitlements must not be delayed. Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru said this during a regimental dinner night organized in honor of newly retired and retiring Nigerian Army senior staffs at the Armed Forces Officers Mess at Sokoro, Abuja. At the event, 1 general, 1 lieutenant general, 67 major generals, and 44 brigadier generals bowed out of the Nigerian Army after meritorious and dedicated service without blemish to the nation. The minister urged the retirees to take a break and reflect appropriately on the next phase of life. Badaru charged members of the armed forces to remain loyal and sustain the culture of supporting democracy in Nigeria and across the shores, adding that the disposition of the armed forces towards democracy in the coming noted to do of that financial business rights on their data. The IGP staff retreats in those in the business owners to take proactive steps of potential. Who was represented at the event by the Assistant Nigerian Police Force Center, I listed safety team for crime issues. Listed the various to include ransomware attacks, noting the stakeholders to know the in. He further advises stakeholders in the financial sector to know their enemies, saying used by cyber criminals as social engineering, malware, and exploiting the foreign Supreme Court Trump for president, citing a constitutional insurrection clause. The court ruled 4-3 that Trump was not an eligible candidate, saying he had engaged in an insurrection over the U.S. Capitol riots nearly 3 years ago. It does not stop Trump running in the other states, and his campaign says it will appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court and that the decision was completely flawed. The ruling only mentions the state's primary election on 5th March, when Republican voters will choose their preferred candidate for president, boycotting in Colorado next November. It is the use of Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution's 14th Amendment to disqualify a presidential candidate. Reports say the elections, or the decisions rather, which has been placed on hold pending appeal until next applies in Colorado, attempts to kick Trump off the Michigan have failed. The news in brief, more reports at 3 p.m. Stay tuned.